Hello and welcome. This is FrostyFire10's quick infomercial. Infomercial. Sort of just a quick TED Talk type style thing on the RIOT Shield. So we have the RIOT Shield in the latest iteration of Call of Duty, Modern Warfare II. And things, I feel like the dynamic in multiplayer has shifted. So in the past, the RIOT Shield's value as a gameplay mechanic, really, was that it made opposition players think. So you'd enter an area, open into a white space, an enemy player would see you and they go, oh, it's a RIOT Shield. I've got to throw, Semtex, throw my tactical, throw my lethal, stun them, all that stuff. Or they've got to go, oh, I've got to do something different than just shooting them. Depending on if they're standing straight and they're not covering their toes. So you got to crouch to cover your toes. So that was kind of the flavor. I mean, it did depend on, how good you were in terms of the lobbies you were put into and the kind of players you ran into. Because I feel like in this iteration, when people see a shield, they no longer think, the majority, not every player, again, depends on your lobby. There are a number of players that see a shield, they go, oh, that person's using a shield, and they get excited. They actually go, oh my goodness. So, like, what was a good spot? Like, oh, someone's hiding here with a shield. And they go, oh, there's a person with a shield. So they would go out of their way to bloody run up here, get the high ground, smash a window, and then bam, they got the advantage. They can attack them from above. So it becomes an interesting gameplay mechanic in a game that traditionally Call of Duty, you don't think a hell of a lot. You mostly run on instinct. You see stuff, you shoot stuff. RIOT Shield was always offering that alternative of not just you see stuff, you shoot stuff, but you see stuff, problem to be solved, something that needs to be, oh, I've got to get past this. This is an obstacle, and especially where RIOT Shield is actually at its strongest and always has been at its strongest is in objective modes. So say you have a flag to capture, say it's like right here, usually where this a good spot.
Cold-blooded.
Yeah. People go, oh no, they're holding the point. It becomes, I feel like it's much bigger focus on the team. So the people you play with really, if you're playing RIOT Shield, you'll have a good time if your teammates actually understand the point of the RIOT Shield. Some still don't. I don't know how many years it's been a long time, and yet people still don't get it. The RIOT Shield is not a perfect melee weapon. It is a 2-hit pain in the ass. You just block the bullets and then your teammates shoot them. Because you focus your attention, you are drawing the aggro of your enemies. Classic MMO tank style. You are tanking all the bullets so your enemies can shoot them. So your teammates can shoot the enemies. And your enemies shoot you. Now, the whole thing with it not covering your toes, the whole thing with it, you're not able to use a secondary. Like the shielded guys in Spec Ops and in DMZ and Warzone in the strongholds, the AI who can shoot around the shield, which is kind of bullshit that they have that and we don't. Again, it would be overpowered in multiplayer. Again, I understand that. So, the psychology of it. It's such a good thing to make COD players think. It used to be such a big way, and in some circumstances still is, a great way to make them go, oh no, and you can see the panic. You're getting someone, you start hitting them, and they start jumping around, going, oh no, there's a RIOT Shield there, and they go, it's that still has value. It still happens. It's not completely gone. So that's one of the positives. So when you're grinding the RIOT Shield camo, you can still take advantage of people for that. So you come around the corner, and then you get the surprise. Stealth RIOT Shield, I suppose, is the preferred strategy. Because if you draw attention now with the drill charge perfectly counters the RIOT Shield. because they just throw it on there and you die. So it's kind of unfair, but you know, it is what it is. You need counters. But people who just sit and wait and then sneak up behind them and then try and melee them, that seems to be the common thing with the shields. I've seen it a lot, happen to me a lot, and I've used that tactic. And especially for getting the double kills, which is one of the hardest challenges in the game, apart from the launches. But yeah, getting double kills with the riot shield can be very difficult, and which you may be better off waiting for hardcore, and then you've got a better chance of getting it done. When you can one-hit kill them with the riot shield, then you're much easier to play. The other point, of course, is that the throwing knife riot shield combo, what value it has, as soon as it's kind of in first-person mode. It gives you a false representation of what happens to the shield when you go to use the throwing knife. But in third person, it shows you exactly what happens when you whip out the throwing knife. This is what happens. It puts it on your back. The throwing knife becomes your primary weapon.
Ghost online.
As soon as you pull out a throwing knife, your shield is on your back. You have no cover. In the first person view, it makes it look like the shield is angled across your body and is still performing a function, but it isn't. It's on your back. So I feel like that's kind of a general bit of info that you need to know if you're going to play that. Whoop. And then you sort of just... The other thing is you can't dive with the riot shield. Yeah, everyone knows that. I mean, if you didn't know that, whatever. So you just do the tap circle for slide. Again, you're vulnerable while sliding. You're vulnerable whenever you expose yourself to 2 angles. And 3 angles is just suicide. So you always need to keep an account. Reduce the number of angles you're exposed to. Always keep an eye on the angles. So this is just knowing your maps. So like with every weapon in the game, knowing your maps is key. If you want to get, dominate matches, not die so much, patience is, with any weapon really, patience for the riot shield is really important, because a lot of the times you'll die because you'll be sprinting, trying to get to combat situations, and then, oh no, someone's there, and then say you try and put the shield up and they shoot you before you get the shield in position. It can be very frustrating. So you have to take it slow, think about your angles, always looking at your map. Your map is so important. You have to keep an eye on the map. You have to look at the spawns. You have to read the spawns ahead of time, which is, again, something just you play the game enough, you start to do. That's where the spawns can be inconsistent, and that's kind of where the battle between the players and the Call of Duty Activision is just, that's been forever. The history of the game is fighting with them going, but they should spawn over there. All our team are here in this part, the enemy should spawn here, but sometimes they spawn there, and then they spawn there, and then sometimes you spawn there, and then they're there, and you get all sorts of funky stuff. The whole, don't bother going prone with a shield on your back. You may think it has value, but it doesn't. Anytime you're prone, you just get shot in the head. The shield, on your back while you're shooting, it does provide a little defense, but you're still exposed pretty heavily on the right hand side. So you do want to, I think at that point, you want to be looking like this. So covering the right hand side, shield protects the sort of the left hand side. Just be aware of that. And as this match finishes, I'll show you the basic setup of the class. I mean, there's a lot you can do with shield, but there's also sort of a limitedness depending on the matches you play, the game modes. So we'll just wait for this match to end. But yeah, so you can dominate with the shield. I have dominated, team death matches and all that with the shield. You can get a bit of a go on.
No winners here today.
So the main thing is setting traps. So you enter a room, you hide in a blind spot, they come in, you kill them. You wait for more than one enemy to pass, and then you stealth, you're killing one, and then you're killing the next one. What you want to see a lot when you're attacking people with your shield is you want to see them jumping. As soon as they start jumping, you've got them. You just got to adjust your... Even if they start jumping, you can stop crouching. Just stand up. You got to protect yourself. They will try and stab you over the top. So it's one of those things you do have to worry a little bit about, is that they can jump and stab you over the top. But then again, it's not that big a deal. So one of the things you can do is just keep a simple build, battle hardened, bomb squad, simple stuff. So battle hardened, reduce the effect of enemy stun and EMP gas grenades, shock sticks, immune to snapshot grenades. Now the shock stick's an interesting one. It does move the shield. It doesn't completely expose you though. So it's very similar to the animation that shows you in first person when you do the throwing knife, where it appears like you're still blocking a part of your body. But with the shock stick situation, you actually are, but with the throwing knife situation, you're not. So just be aware. Bomb squad, again, take reduced damage from kill streaks, explosives. And then you can throw grenades back. Now, throwing grenades back is a good idea at first, but you do expose yourself. The same as throwing knife. You expose your entire body. As soon as you pick up the grenade, shield's on your back. It's kind of bullshit. Now, you can also do run and... But you attract a lot of attention when you move, very quickly especially. The shield stands out so much now. It's like a beacon. People see it and they go, "Oh, a shield person," and then they just, yeah, you just gotta be careful. So again, you can do tracker if you want to sneak up on people, and double time if you want that speed. But cold-blooded, again, simple cold-blooded ghost combo, easy peasy. You can do fast hands if you want to throw the knife, but again, you're exposing yourself. If you're trying to get shield kills for the grinding the shield camo, don't bother with that. Yeah, that's really the only one there. You don't need anything else there. Ghost is number one. High alert maybe has... it has its uses, but I prefer not to rely on high alert. I think it's the worst crutch in the game, almost as bad as heartbeat sensor. It just clutters the screen. I don't like the effect. You can do quick fix if you're trying to get the double kills and you're playing the objective modes. Probably Ghost doesn't help you sometimes. It depends. Like midway through the match, it starts to hurt a little bit that they can see you with the UAVs when there's constant UAV spamming. But if you have someone on your team who's doing the launches and they're shooting down the UAVs, maybe it's not as big an issue. So that regeneration can help. But if you're doing the double kills, you've got two enemies lined up. So you've got them. The element of surprise will probably cover it up, so you can get through. Survivor's useless. Overclock has its use as well. So that's probably the only alternative. Is overclock, because dead silence is really, really, really good for shields. So I do want to point this out. The speed increase you get to movement speed applies to the riot shield, and it's the only thing that can increase your speed, increase legitimately your speed, rather than just, double time increasing the duration of your attack sprint. It just exposes you. But dead silence increases all of your speed, so you can crouch, move forward faster, and you can just move forward safely, quicker. And it's really, really, really helpful for stealth killing with the shield. You can chain that with the throwing knife. You can throw the knives to get the kills from range, and then you can... Yeah, dead silence is really, really important for riot shield. Especially for the double kills, really important. So again, when hardcore comes out, dead silence, you get some good chains with the riot shield. You get some good maybe 4 or 5 kills. If you position yourself right in the map and the spawns are where they should be. Again. So I do have tear gas in this spot, but it doesn't matter. You can do stun, you can do anything. But again, the problem is you don't expose yourself when you throw the tactical. As I demonstrated earlier, when I threw the flash grenade, I think it was, or stun grenade. But you do, anytime you're doing anything other than moving towards your enemy, closing space with the shield, you're kind of putting yourself at a disadvantage. No, I can't test. I can't. But yeah, keep an eye out for enemies on all angles. Keep your mind open. And remember that people are encouraged by shields now. They do like to see them. They do like to target people who use them. And they will pick them up. So I've seen it plenty of times. I've had it happen to me. When I'm playing with the shield, I get killed. They pick up the shield. And then they want to use the shield too. I can do it too. And then you have multiple people with shields. Sometimes I've had teammates in objective modes pick up shields from my dead corpse if I just keep running to the objective and getting killed over and over again because I'm just trying to win the match. Then they'll have multiple people with shields. So One of the other things you could do if you don't want to do dead silence, or if you want to do the choice, you can put deployable cover, and you can put that positioned depending on what objective you're on. Like, say if it's a domination, you might want to cover one door or cover behind you. You can use that as a sort of a team thing, but the enemy can climb over deployable cover. They can't climb over your shield. So just be wary. Again, if you have time to put a deployable cover down, then you'd be fine anyway. Again, portable radar is always useful. Just see where enemies are. Battle Rage is useless. So one of the things about Battle Rage is it does expose you. So it's like the throwing knife. It exposes your whole body when you use it. So if you're trying to do Battle Rage and then you run into someone and you're thinking, oh, okay, I should be able to switch to the shield again quickly. No, it takes too long. That little bit of time it takes to just get rid of the Battle Rage and you've been shot and you're dead, and it's a pain in the ass. Suppression mine and then finishing them off with the shield is just a bit impractical. Depending on the map, of course. Some maps maybe you can get a couple people pinned. But yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that. Dead silence is awesome. So you can do overclocked instead of ghost, but ghost is such a good, useful thing. It's a great comfort to have on the mind, ghost. But yeah, so this is pretty basic. Whatever secondary doesn't really matter. So you can run, the overkill and have a secondary that is actually, a sniper rifle, and you can do whatever you like. That's all fine. Just, you're not maining Riot Shield then. You're not going to get many Riot Shield kills. The second you have a secondary that you're going to use a lot, like in this case, X12 is actually useful, you won't use Riot Shield. So when you look at back and you look at the camo kill, look how many kills you've got, for your challenges, you'll think, oh, I didn't get many Riot Shield kills. Oh, because I kept using my bloody decent weapon instead of this shitty Riot Shield. No, the Riot Shield's always fun. I always love the Riot Shield. But, there's other games that have done more, innovated more with their shields. I can think Rainbow Six Siege. I think there's a lot more that can be done with the Riot Shield, and I feel like there's always been a love-hate relationship in the community with the Riot Shield. So, at the minute, I feel like people with the drill, in addition to the drill charge, I feel like there's kind of because there's a counter for camping in buildings and there's a counter for shields, just that people just go, oh, I'll just put the drill charge on. And thermite as well. Oh, yeah. So they've got so many counters to the shield that I feel like people are more encouraged by shields now. They see them and go, ooh, someone's trying to do something, and they want to actually kill them. So they're more encouraged to kill you. So just be wary. Yeah, it's a interesting change in the psychology from people just being like, ugh. And then when you have the AI with the shields, and they've got a pistol as well, and they're so much more dangerous, and you go, oh, they're even more of a pain in the ass. So things could be so different. We'll see. Yeah, it was, there was sort of a mystery about whether they'd even have it in the game, but it was in the trailer. So, but yeah, so I wish everyone well with the Riot Shield, and I hope you dominate, even in team deathmatch, even free for all. You can do some funny stuff, but free for all, again, your angle's all exposed. It's very, very hard. Unless you camp yourself in a building and then people just keep returning to try and kill you, which they will. So one of the other things you can do is camp a spot, and if you kill someone, the trolling value of Riot Shields is still there. So people don't like being killed by someone with a Riot Shield, especially when it's beaten to death. They do like to return again and again and again to try and get revenge. So you just got to be one step ahead each time, and you can, farm them basically. So that can happen. So yeah, just use that, take advantage of the trolling, throwing knife for range if you need it, but really be careful because it doesn't help. It just exposes you. Yeah, this has been my TED Talk on the Riot Shield and a bit of the psychology around it. If you've experienced, lots of people using the Riot Shield in a game, like everyone using it, mega trolling, or, people just targeting you because you've got a shield. Yeah, I'd expect that. It's kind of the point. And yeah, I wish you could use the Riot Shield in the DMZ. It's not fair. Can't pick it up. But yeah, this has been FrostyFire10. Yeah, there's been a setup guide. Kind of, it's been a bit of a info drop, Riot Shield. Like and subscribe. FrostyFire10, catch you next time. Bye bye.